I love this tracksuit. The sneakers are amazing, and it's like certainly a intentional throwback kind of vibe.
It was
right?
my dad's.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
wearing
and
your-
that's your DeLorean that you just got out of?
Yeah. That was Doc Brown's, though.
Oh, really? So where did you come from? Or when? Welcome to another episode of Staying Alive. I am Adam Pally.
And I'm Jon Gabrus.
And we're still alive.
Turns out, despite
Still
your
alive.
best efforts, listeners, we
Yeah.
are still alive.
Can't catch me.
That sniper did hit me, but not in the head.
Yeah,
So I'm
grazed my ear.
Fight.
We have an awesome guest today.
Oh, yeah. We have my co-host from the Action Boys and a fitness podcaster himself, personal trainer, comedian, all-around average gray-haired hunk.
He is a hunk. He had his look is amazing. He really does look like he came out of a 1980s movie.
Yes, he does look like the guy who is buying out your rec center to turn it into
An oil field.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a cool vibe. And he trained the stars. He's trainer to the stars, right?
Yeah, he's a true personal trainer, so he's got the experience, and he has nothing to sell, which is interesting to have on for a fitness person. He doesn't have a method or a pill that he's
I
selling.
prefer that because there is, a large part of this industry, as we're learning, is like, somewhat like snake oil salesman-y. You know what I mean? It's like, I've got nothing to sell but my, opinion on how to make you healthy.
Yeah,
And that may be fact or fiction, know?
And don't record that. Don't splice that in with our ad reads that are later on in this episode, because
Right.
everyone's got to get their bag.
And then we read an ad for hymns.
we sell actual snake oil.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be good for
Sacha
your
Baron Cohen's snake oil.
All right, let's talk to Ryan Stanger. Ryan Stanger, so stoked to have you here with us today. It's weird because you co-host a podcast with me.
Yeah, you're going to have to pretend like you haven't heard some of the stuff I say. Or, I don't know, add
we
to
haven't
it.
done 6 hours a
Jesus
week for
Christ.
fucking 8 years.
Yeah.
But we're so stoked to have you. You're our first guest that is from both the comedy world and the fitness world officially. Yeah. And no pressure. He might not be funny or informative at all in this episode.
No, it's going to be pretty light on the information and light on the jokes, but I think you guys will...
That's always the risk, Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
Like they say, like a TV VCR combo. The TV's not great and the VCR ain't great either.
Yeah.
But hey, at least it's in one package.
This might go in the dumpster, but it's good practice for you guys.
It's like running with a weighted vest
Yeah, it's
on.
nice for us to get some reps.
But wait, this fit is tremendous, and I know I've heard legends of this because you saw this hanging in your dad's closet.
No. This was, my dad showed up one day, not a brand guy at all. And I grew up, in the 90s, like a total brand kid. I didn't have any of them, but I wanted.
Where did you grow up?
Just in Northern California. So,
Okay, but not Marin, like San Mateo?
No, it was more Sacramento. It was
Sacramento.
Sac City, baby.
nothing going on out
Nothing
there.
going on.
Yeah,
Lady Bird.
Yeah. And that made it look good.
Yeah.
But the old man showed up one day with this shit on after we'd been denied Jordans, any of this stuff. And we were like, what the fucking shit? He wore it one time. And then later I add, like maybe 2 years ago, I said, what happened to that flight suit? And he was like, hold on. And then he sent me a picture of it. He's like, I got it. I wore it one time. He sent it out to me.
You do look like someone could Forrest Gump you into the picture of the dream team standing along as like the trainer.
Christian Leitner's dad.
I'm not dumb enough to be gumped.
Well, I am. I'm doing a podcast.
Pally, I got to say, there was one show, an awards show, and you presented at it, and there was something they did with like puppies in it, and you did a bit on the awards show, and I was so fucking nervous for you. I'm like, he's gonna get in fucking trouble. Like, you were just roasting the whole awards show. You're like, this is fucking dumb. Pete is gonna come after this. And I was just like, holy shit. I was a fan, and I was like, fuck, they're gonna He's going to get in trouble.
Can you even remember what
I was going to say, this is tough because it's bad when you can't remember which one.
I was about to say.
I did notice a pattern after that, but I loved it so much and was scared.
Now, this is so funny because I don't know what you're talking about, but it is the most believable Pally story ever where I'm like, all the details fit.
I don't know what you're talking about, so.
Walked a tightrope, crushed, maybe offended some people.
Crushed for sure, but it's like, what the fuck is this? You're going to get burned for this. Should I release these? It was so fucking awesome. But I was like, don't do it.
Yeah. That's how most people feel about my comedy.
Yeah, I've been co-hosting shit with him for years, so I'm terrified.
Don't do it. No, I've grown a lot. I feel like this is a pattern that's happening on the podcast, is me having to apologize. I've grown a lot.
Stanger had to adopt all those puppies, so he's really
I'm
upset.
sorry about the load I bore on you.
It's all good. We got a sled team,
That's good. See?
Yeah, beat Palin's husband.
That's good. Oh, well, so the outcome is really great.
You guys are under the Smartless banner.
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah, let's talk business.
I am forever a fan after I listened to an episode and fucking Kevin Bacon was on and Sean was like, how does it feel to lose all your money to Bernie Madoff?
Wow.
He straight up
asked him that?
Yeah. And like Bacon was like, bad.
Yeah, that's the kind of hard-hitting journalism you're not going to get here. Also, what a guest. Kevin Bacon is the amalgamation of all three Smartless men.
Yeah.
If you were to sandwich them together in like a metal vise, they would come out as Kevin Bacon.
They call themselves the 3 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Now, Ryan, we kick off all our interviews with this question. Ryan Stanger, what are you doing to stay alive?
Fucking everything. Everything that'll come up on this show, I've done it, I've tried it, I'm either doing it now or I've abandoned.
You are my first text about any new thing I hear about.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the deal with blank?
And now you will be mine. Yeah.
Should
So
never have given Pally your number.
Again, guess what? I try a lot of shit.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I mean, have at it. But yeah, so, hyperbaric chamber, I just completed 100 rounds of that.
That's 100 days in a row?
100 days in a row.
Yeah, roughly. I mean, I might have missed a day or two in there.
Do you have one in your house?
I'd love to have one. I don't. I went to a location. Now, people that are listening that are going to want to try it, it's tough to find. They may not have them where you guys are.
And they're prohibitively expensive, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to get like medical grade, which of course is what I sought out.
Brother, everything I sought out is medical grade.
I'm on medical grade dab.
Yeah. You can't even find that unless you're on death row.
Yeah, that medical grade pussy.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's when you finger a nurse.
Yeah.
A male nurse. Anyone can be a nurse.
Medical grade pussy.
Give me
it's pussy. Is that what you said?
We're not doctors. We did a disclaimer already.
Yeah, you weren't here for that, but there's a disclaimer. We are not doctors, and this is not prescriptive. These are all...
This is just, we hear from people, we hear what they're up to.
And if you're a podcast host and you've been roasted by us, that is specifically for us to get ratings and engage with you.
Yeah, and we would love to have you on our podcast.
Yeah, please come on our podcast.
Hey, come on their pod.
It's a safe space. Thanks, Ryan.
After they
Ryan, can you help us get better guests?
So,
yeah, they're like, these fucking guys need the help. What the fuck, Stanger? Shit.
all right. So you're in the hyperbaric chamber now. Explain. You go to a location now. What is it? What is the physical apparatus? What is the process?
Well, there's multiple ways you can do it.
Because what I'm familiar with is like a tube you lay down.
Yeah.
Most of them that are in the medical grade category, you can sit up in. And
really,
they have a facility at UCLA, and that one is a fucking huge like submarine with multiple people in there and a tech that runs it.
So they do like 10 people at once or something?
10 people at once, yeah. And sometimes there's emergencies, like people that have the bends will come in there and they clear it all out for that.
How do you get there that quick from the ocean?
I mean, they just take, you can exist for a while with the bends and then they get you there as soon as they can.
Silo made it seem like your head would explode right away.
I mean, it depends on how deep you go. Fucking Ed Harris level.
I got scuba certified and was on the boat with a bunch of real scuba heads, and some of them have Ben's insurance, which is if they get it, a chopper will take them directly to the nearest hyperbaric chamber. That makes me want to quit scuba diving.
I mean, what does that cost? $4 million if you didn't have the insurance?
Right. Yeah. Chopper lifted to a hyperbaric chamber. And you're taking a chopper to and from every day for the 100 days, right?
Oh, yeah. It's not necessary, but I traffic in LA.
It's a cool way to land.
I've never had the Benz, but I do own OK Computer on vinyl. Anyway, so it's so you could sit up in it.
The one that I use, you can sit up, and there are some that people have built like in their house,
like rooms, like full rooms.
No, they're like little
saunas.
Not even like they're little beds that they kind of sleep in, and that to me seems a little scary.
Oh, all right. I've seen like LeBron James will like sleep 8 hours in a hyperbaric chamber. Is that healthy for you?
I think you're okay. What I could gather from it was, and how it kind of factors into recovery, is that you go under a certain amount of atmospheres of pressure. So you're in this chamber that increases the atmospheric pressure, and then you take in pure oxygen, and it forces oxygen into your lungs more than what you would normally get from us just breathing the air around here.
Even more than just wearing like an O2 mask.
Oh, more than an O2 mask. And the one that I did, you used an O2 mask. And then the other one, like the ones where you're in a tank, like the submarine tank, what they would have at hospitals, there'll be multiple people, multiple people that are using different oxygen schedules depending on what they need, and so you wear a space helmet looking thing, and then they'll pop it off you. You take a little break, and they put it back on. You stay under the pressure, but you only get pure O2 in certain oxygen sequences, and then it increases blood flow. So you start creating more blood vessels and blood flow. And then, so people that have really bad wounds or diabetic wounds, they use it a lot, amputees trying to recover from that. Been some like
growing back limbs.
Growing back limbs.
Whoa. I'm next to a guy whose leg is developing as you're sitting there, and he's like, it's happening.
Reading the newspaper.
Bad for pirates. They're like, what's my angle now?
Now I've got to rely on the beer.
Parrot's in there with a little mask.
There's another red beard? What am I going to do?
Says
I guess I'll have to rely on this bird.
Yarg, I guess
everyone has a bird?
Did you say parrot with a space helmet?
Yeah. Captain Hyperbaric says, hey. What?
Yes. Good for blood flow.
It's about as good as what I got. So they, a lot of amputees, like I was reading about emergency plastic surgery people that have like these, injuries that aren't recovering.
Oh no. Yes. What about athletes, right? Like you mentioned LeBron James. I've seen this used a lot recently. I feel like I just saw like maybe like Kevin Hart doing it or something. Like what is that thing that you have in your house that looks like an iron lung that you get in and you sleep in?
That's hyperbaric. And so I don't know what their oxygen schedule is. And so,
because you can't breathe pure O2 for 8 hours, right?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't think that they are.
Right. They're going for an hour.
Yeah, they're going for an hour. And if they were to go overnight, it might just be under that atmospheric pressure.
And not have like an oxygen
schedule. Or it like releases oxygen in certain sequences.
So they're hoping by increasing blood flow, that's like a way to repair muscle tissue, a way to like...
muscle, for sure. That's exactly it. Yeah. Or if they have any kind of little micro injuries they don't even know about.
Right, it'll help bring blood to those wounds.
Can you like go in there and be on your phone and stuff?
They don't, if you're taking pure O2 in, they don't let you, because if you have one little spark,
right,
you're
so you can't. So I guess you can only vape.
Yeah, you could vape.
Filling a hyperbaric chamber up with vape smoke while there's 9 other like amputees. I mean, they're like, I hate this fucking guy.
I hate it when Pally comes in for his session.
But Donald Sutherland from Backdraft would encourage it.
Yeah, well, that's a very specific person who's dead.
You got to see Backdraft to understand. He's a bit of a firebug.
What is your day-to-day staying alive regimen? Like, what's your workout schedule? What's your diet? What are you doing to stay this fit?
Okay, so right now what I'm into is sauna, and that's been for the last 10 years. I do it every day. I have a barrel sauna at my house.
This is what we were discussing, because I bought when we wrapped 101 Places to Party Before You Die, I bought Pally a sauna and he bought me a Tudor Black Bay.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a plug and a brag.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Hell yeah. Tudor, please
send us free watches. Use promo code Staying Alive to get
on that end. I wear a Rolex.
Check out the watch.
But we're sauna freaks too, and like you got me kind of tuned into saunas, and I'm jealous that you have a full in his yard in Stud City. You just have a fucking wooden
Stud
barrel.
City is that what you call your yard?
Everybody else does, but maybe I will.
So he got me this infrared sauna that's like a little like, you know, super cool modern looking glass thing where you can sit down to the Bluetooth and the
go in his Pally, come out as Superman.
Exactly. So I'm pretty much when I'm at home every day.
Great.
Hour a day. You're in a barrel sauna.
Barrel sauna, so that's a more traditional dry sauna.
Hot rocks.
Hot rocks that are heated electrically. It's got an electric heater.
So you don't pour water on it?
No, I mean, you can, as long as the rocks are hot enough and you're not touching the heating element. The water should mostly evaporate before it touches. But it's a Havari heater. The sauna is Dundalk, and it's all Canadian red cedar.
Sounds like a German band. Don't dock me.
Man,
don't dock me.
What other place do you get to call out the name of your heater, the kind of wood, and the company that made your sauna? Like, there's no.
Well, I mean, you kind of want to look into where the wood's coming from. There's a lot of drop ship companies that are coming out now because it's become popular, and it could be, you know, junk wood.
What do you mean drop ship?
That means just like they're
Alibaba, like Amazon.
You get a Temu sauna dropped off at your house. It's this big.
Yeah. What the fuck?
You just put your hands in it.
Yeah, you got a little finger cut. You know, okay, that's done. So you want to be careful of the wood and make sure there's not impurities because you're sitting in there and it's cooking and you're breathing it.
Right. If it's got fucking weird pesticides or some shit in or some shellac.
Right. And so all this.
How often do you clean it?
I don't clean it a ton.
Great. All I need to hear. We can move on.
It's me and mine.
Yeah. So let's move on.
It started like around 2015. This Finnish study was published, and they looked at these guys in Finland. It's a good place to do an observational study like that.
Most saunas per capita in the world is in Finland.
So they could find people that were doing it every day.
No chefs.
No, that's Sweden.
Right.
Yeah.
Not a single chef.
Sweden's good. They even have a Muppet made after one.
Yeah.
Finland.
Tons of chefs.
Yeah.
Tons of chefs.
I want the Finnish Muppet that's always sweating from being in sauna.
That's hard to do with felt.
Sauna.
It's like every time we pump the water, the thing falls apart.
Yeah. Irvin Durgan, low mortality rates. No meatballs in Finland either.
Fuck Finland.
Finland's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Shout out our first live shows in Finland. I couldn't even name a city in Finland to make a more specific.
Flugenstein.
So this thing came out and people went nuts for it because they were looking at guys 42 to 65, somewhere in that kind of age range. And they looked at them for 20 years and they accounted for other healthy lifestyle factors. And they found crazy numbers, like a 60% drop in all-cause mortality.
I love that phrase. Dr. Rhonda Patrick from Found My Fitness, she was the first person I heard to talk about this study and the phrase all-cause mortality. A 40% reduction in anything that will kill you.
Yeah,
right.
Like a crazy. How do you not start getting involved?
It's up as high as 60, I think.
Jesus.
People should look it up. Everybody here picked up on it, and they've now looked into other things that it can do for you. But that was Alzheimer's. It was all-cause mortality.
And is that barrel versus infrared or
so I don't know because in Finland they just do the
barrel.
other kind.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's got to be.
It's just the act of sweating.
I think so. I mean, it's tough to know, and people will throw around stuff like heat shock proteins, but I don't know. I mean, it's one of those.
So I don't read any of his stuff.
Heat shock protein is the guy I follow on OnlyFans.
He was a great wrestler. He does solo jack-off scenes.
I also follow Rock
Imagine
Chalk.
following an ex-wrestler on OnlyFans. I watched The Undertaker fuck a fucking pallbearer puppet.
I follow Rock Chalk Chopra on OnlyFans, which
That's
is
the
like
rock climbing Indian guy?
No, he's a Kansas Jayhawk fan. He's a Jayhawk fan who gives out spiritual advice.
Other followers, Ashley Judd. You're like, okay.
Rob Riggle.
What is the belief behind why saunas work? It's because the heat shocks your body.
Or are you sweating out? Are you truly sweating out toxins?
So I don't know. Toxins, things people throw that around too. I don't know. Like I don't know what they may not know what the scientific mechanism is or what's happening that does it, because it's interesting too. If you look at this study, so I mentioned that there are other healthy lifestyle factors, because immediately people would jump to, oh well, if you sauna every day, then you're doing other things to take care of yourself.
Yeah, you're not a guy who's at the China buffet every night and then going to the sauna during the day.
No. So they factored that in: diet, smoking, exercise, and observational studies are inherently flawed because you're not looking at the science. It's hard to do. Like,
right.
How can you get somebody into the lab every day and do the sauna and then
have a guy who is exercising the same regimen but not hitting the sauna?
They're tricky, but because it was such a large population that they looked at, 3,000 people. People, and it's been peer reviewed, so people do respect the study, and then how robust the results were. So it's not like one of those things to where it was like, it's 12% reduction.
Yeah.
It's huge numbers, and
so even with a margin of error,
right?
Yeah, it's still going to be juicy.
Totally, and they found that people in high. The people that do more frequency have more robust results.
Right.
So
like
people that are doing
better. Yeah. There is there's more than.
So is there something to the idea of like sweating out a sickness? Like, let's say, because like I've had like a sinus infection or a bad cold and like gone into a sauna to try to sweat it out, or like a flu. Is it as like prescriptive as that? Is it strictly like we're talking long-term benefits?
So interesting you bring that up, because I have seen talk about respiratory disease. So, you name it, you got some kind of respiratory thing going on. They found that people in the sauna, it shortens the duration of their whatever they've got, infection or not.
To be fully anecdotal here, I find that if I have a little something in the throat or in the nose or a cough after a couple of days in the sauna, maybe I would recover it anyway.
Right. But
the sauna does at least, and even in the moment, acutely kind of relieve me of it.
And if you catch it on the tits and not in the throat or the nose,
Sure.
But you don't want to be like, have the reputation of being a cum dodger.
Cum in my nose. Nose pies.
We don't kink shame
Do
here.
you Google nose pie anymore?
That's why I was asking about cleaning mine.
Wow. Oh, I like what you did with the frosted glass here.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
A little splotchy.
Privacy.
I tried to jerk off in the sauna. I almost fucking fainted. It's like the ultimate. It's like a fucking autoerotic asphyxiation. So sweaty.
The ultimate kink. Need a lot of equipment, a lot of real estate.
Reduction of all-cause jizz. 60% reduction in jizz.
You hear how Gabrus died?
Let me guess. Coming in a sauna. Whoa!
It wasn't suicide. So, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of what we're living in here, at least in this recording location, is in the realm of anecdotal. But I've experienced that too, to where it's like, I definitely feel better. I definitely, if I can drag myself in there and I've got something, seem to recover. And then most recently, I've seen some research or some studies done out there about it reducing the duration of, and I think people that use it get sick, get respiratory disease less.
I feel like when I'm on a good sauna regimen, I do feel over. Here's a small anecdotal thing I've noticed. When it's really hot in LA, I'm not as sweaty. Like I'm a little heat adapted from the sauna. I don't get as like overheated easily. And
yeah, I think you build up a tolerance.
Yeah, and it feels good. And then when it's like 90 degrees out, I'm like, well, I sat in 160 today for an hour.
But there's nothing like one of my favorite things is being in the sauna and then like you get in the shower and you're still a little like steamy and then you walk into like New York cold.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's
you're
that
like,
contrast therapy.
Yeah, I love that. You're like, oh, and your eyes go back in your head. I like that. I live for that shit.
Yeah. My gym has a little outdoor area and the sauna's in the outdoor area. So if I build up enough of a sweat, when I come out, I look like a linebacker or a lineman on the sideline. I come out, there's so much steam coming off me. And I train at like one of the gayest places I've ever been in my life. Besides, I mean, it's as gay as a gay bar and it's awesome. But I come out and there's just like 6 dudes lifting weights and I'm shirtless, like in a Speedo with like steam coming off me. I feel like I'm baiting everyone. I look like a freshly served dish.
Has any of them ever made a move on you?
No.
Then you're not baiting. Then that's in your head.
No, I know. I get a little eye fucking.
All
that's
right,
obvious.
there you go.
Yeah,
What about when you present yourself in a chafing dish and then pull the lid off?
When they pull the lid off and my legs are behind my head in the fucking Belgian oyster. I have one candle in my ass lid.
You don't do that.
Make a wish.
I mean, don't do that. You owe it to them at that point.
I feel like they are ogling me as I'm spread eagle with a fucking candle in my head.
Can't I just work out?
Guys, it's like everyone just slowly drifts to another section of the gym. Like, let's go do cardio. I love the sauna and cold plunge combo. That's like a real treat.
We've been talking about that a lot. Is that something that
we're trying to talk him into building a cold plunge in his yard?
I want one. So that's.
Are you cold plunging?
I do, but I don't have. I have to go.
It's not with the frequency.
Yeah, because I have to go somewhere to do it.
Right.
But I do want to get one, and that's something that's come out recently too, to where they find that the benefits are more psychological.
I was saying earlier that
more win Hoff than Hoff win.
Who is this show for?
Hoff win is just like Finnish Muppet.
Yeah. People just screaming with laughter that like do the polar plunges and stuff.
Hey man, entertainment has become niche. So niche.
We found our show. Yeah.
Huge in Finland.
Stang, you're one of the more like regimented or like you hit your goals, you do like what you say you're going to do. And you just mentioned your kid. Is he inspired at all by your fitness? I know he's been getting into lifting recently, right?
And as a personal trainer,
yeah.
Do you find that you have a responsibility to both your clients and your kid to like stay in shape like that, to show them like this is my job?
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to
feel that pressure.
Yeah.
I would be a great personal trainer if people were okay with their trainer being fat. You know, like a mechanic's car is the worst.
Yeah, of course. A doctor's child.
Hey, speak of the devil.
There's not, I mean, I used to work at this big, it's now an Equinox, but it's this massive gym in West LA. It used to be called Sports Club.
They have basketball courts and stuff.
Yeah, got basketball courts.
I've been there,
They've got, stuff on the roof, like all kinds of functional shit on the roof. But there was this guy there, because they used to like really drill down on the trainers to sell. It was like this crazy pressure. You had to be a good salesman. And there was this guy there that was fucking ripped named Rudy. And he had the most clients by far. He worked all day with clients and they would all do the same thing. He looked fucking ripped. It was just genetics. And so you'd see him and there'd be like a little old lady like, there'd be like a super ripped guy.
Yeah,
there'd be a kid.
Adapt programming to each person.
But because he just looked so ripped. And there'd be other people that looked less fit, but they were great trainers. So you just never know. I mean, that's,
Well, this is a great segue to, I'm sure some listeners or viewers of this podcast are curious about getting a personal trainer, or maybe don't know how to, what would you look for as a personal trainer yourself? What would you look for in a good personal trainer?
Well, I think...
Or what makes you a good personal trainer to you?
I think certification. So I think it's important maybe to start there. It doesn't always have to be. Like somebody can be really experienced and, just kind of know by training a lot of people and been in the game for a long time. But, you can look for certification. You can look for certain degrees and maybe start there. And I think anybody...
What's a good degree to look for?
Exercise, kinesiology, physiology, something there, some kind of background in it, or if they just have some level of certification and that they keep going with continuing education credits, their CECs.
They're not some guy sitting on some like old degree. They're constantly learning the new stuff. And
So, but that's not 100%. That's just maybe a good place to start. And then you want to sit down with them and talk about what their plan is. And if they don't ask you what your goals are, you probably want to bail.
Right. If they just say, this is my prescription.
We're going to get you ripped.
Yeah. It's just like, all right, day one, here we go. Back squats. Let's do it. Number one. And you're just like, fuck, I don't want to do that. I just wanted to, get my cardio up or whatever it is. They should be asking you what your goals are. Now, once that's done, they may encourage you to kind of focus on some other areas that they think would be helpful or beneficial to you. But if they're not asking you your goals, it's a bad sign. They also should assess your baseline level of fitness to see, where to go and how hard to train you.
What does something like that look like? What does that assessment look like?
So what I used to do as a trainer is I would do like this talk test. So I'd get somebody on a treadmill and I would just have them on the treadmill. I'd increase the incline and we would just talk. And so we talk about what we're going to do that day.
Do they know that you're testing them?
I'll tell them. Yeah, it's not any kind of secret. And, we're just talking about what they, that's a good place to kind of
take their temperature rectally without them knowing, just see their body temperature.
Of course. I didn't think I needed to mention that.
At least that's what my trainer does. He has the thickest thermometer.
That's a good sign.
You're also in the back of a veterinarian clinic. You're not exactly at the gym.
I'm in a Temple Grandin hug machine. I'm in a large animal vet is where I go for my time. Your blood pressure is great if you were a bovine. But it says here on your chart you're a human. I have to look at my chart to determine.
What happened?
I got to tell you, your stomach's not great. I thought that I was going to have to look at 2 other stomachs.
But
so it's even worse.
But your milk production's through the roof. Stop tugging on that udder. You only have one working udder.
Are you willing to help us increase the buffalo population? Sure. So you do this talk test and then you can kind of get a good baseline level of their cardiovascular fitness. And then I'll do a really simple workout where we're just doing some kind of push, pull, and a squat. And then so you can see their functional flexibility. So, how much flexion they have in their ankles to do a squat, what kind of shoulder health they have doing these push and pull exercises. And then you can see some issues that they may have with flexibility or some, certain weaknesses that pop up. It's usually, it would usually be really easy. I would comp them that session and then,
Yeah, my trainer, Addie, did the first one free as well. And it's kind of like a good way to, because then it's like, no pressure on you.
And it's a good sign if they're doing that because then you can figure out each other's chemistry. And if it doesn't feel like a good fit, or I know another trainer that I think might be better for them, then that recommend them. And
is there like a trainer break room in LA, like shrinking, like where all the therapists go to talk,
Ford's up in that motherfucker. Yeah. I used to see him at this gym I worked called Pro Gym.
Harrison Ford?
Yeah. Fuck, he was getting in shape for Crystal Skull. Fucking ripped, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
He does pop his top in it.
In Crystal? Yeah, he does.
Oh, no, he does in Dial of Destiny, right?
He looked good in that
70
one.
Something, taking his shirt off. Good for him.
Yeah. But
I saw him in the Century City parking lot lost.
In a plane. Callista.
He's trying to take off. He was in the basement. I was like,
breaker.
Harrison, you got to get up to the top thing. He's like, I'm making my move.
You offered him a vape and it fucking like Popeye.
Yeah. No, his car reeked like weed. He was just good doing donuts in the plane.
It was like
to land. Sir.
You're in a Tesla, buddy.
Yeah. Cheech and Chong were in there. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Cheech Marin.
Something you said about assessing their mobility. This is something I saw a personal trainer do one time that broke my mind. I watched a personal trainer hold their older client's hands to lower them onto an incline bench where then they did like light dumbbell flies. And in my head, I said, the trainer should be working so that this person can get on and off the bench by the inner pec development is less important than the ambulatory skill to get up and down off
standing up and sitting down.
Yeah, it's like,
no,
that's
we
what we should be working towards. It's like, no, get them over there, get them doing this.
Number one, pec fly.
Yeah.
But I mean, these corporate gyms where they're just trying to sell, it's like, and if you're on the road or something, you're like, I just want to do a quick workout.
Exactly. Yeah. You're like, that's why I belong here.
Yeah. Let me introduce you to Todd. He's a drinking fountain consultant. Hey, what's up, man? Let's go ahead and show you the drinking fountain.
And you're like, buddy, I'll never be in the Equinox in Denver ever again.
That's very cool. But number two, let me show you the locker consultant.
Well,
hey,
then you'll need to know where the pool is.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
We're going to need your social.
Yeah. So that's always, I think, for a lot of people, what like the fear of a trainer is, you know? Like,
I mean, yeah, totally. And I tell you, man, working at this sports club, you know, I was like in my 20s and you're early 20s and you're dealing with these huge numbers. So you get somebody and they're kind of interested in training and then you have to sell them a 20 package and it's like $7,000 and you're just like, I mean, I'd feel like such a fucking asshole.
Because you know they're not good. It's like January 3rd.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know you're not going to get through that all.
Yeah, like, might as well get like some runoff money.
Yeah. Hands shaking as I give them the fucking.
Yeah.
Or you know they don't have the money and you're really trying to fucking sell them on it.
It is kind of like a stripper.
Yeah.
In that way.
We had a champagne room.
We have an ATM machine I can take you to. Yeah, champagne.
Protein shake room.
Do a full release workout.
But yeah, I mean,
there's no fucking in the spin room.
Well, you mentioned the shrinking break room, but at these big clubs, I mean, you know, there's a little community of trainers, and especially the ones with a lot of trainers, at least anecdotally, in my experience, everybody's fucking each other, the membership people, and you know, you're all just
like, I got that big titty client coming in later.
I mean, and it's always married suburban moms, right?
Yeah,
it really is, right? Is that what? Because that's another myth of personal trainers that we could like talk about today. Like, who are they? Always fucking the suburban mom they're training?
Oh, I mean. There's definitely flirting. There's
like always flirting, right? There's always like a certain like sexual tension,
strange stretching type stuff.
Right. That does exist.
But I don't know about them taking it to the next level.
Oh, it's just always like the myth of a trainer. You know?
It's possible, but it's a lot of it's trainers with each other.
Right.
Is what
like fit people just hanging around all the time.
Thank you.
My
glasses.
This is what the pros do.
Ryan, what makes a good client?
Ooh.
Oh, so
how can listeners, if they wanted to be a client, be a good client?
And you've trained some of the biggest.
Yeah.
Did you sign any NDAs? Can we ask names and stuff?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. So I've trained some actors, one professional athlete. Trained, I maybe met with them like once or twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a couple of sessions, not like, but your long-term clients have always been.
That's where I made the shift. Because I found that very wealthy people that had more normal jobs, best clients. Because you know this, both you guys know this, you can get fast and furious with a trainer and then you're gone. Yeah. You know, you're off shooting something.
Yeah, I'm going to Vancouver for 9 months to do Hunger Games or whatever.
So you get in shape for, a couple of months, you get in great shape, and then you're gone. And so I, had some folks like this, and I was like the fucking pig with the straw house. And life was like the wolf.
Okay.
All right.
Remind me,
kind of
did he go to the market or did his house get blown down?
And weren't there 3 of those pigs?
Yeah, there was 3, but the smart one was the one. I became the brick house guy, but at first I was a little
you were the last
Sly in the Family
pig.
Store.
Wait.
Was Rick James sings Brick House?
Yeah. What? Is there any other analogy we could go with?
Did I do the 3 pigs one?
Yeah, that's pretty much the one we landed on.
And we edited out the first 3 times you did the 3 pigs.
Leave this one in. This one will drive it home. Yeah. I know what this
Does the hyperbaric chamber do anything for your brain?
No. Not for mine. It should, but for mine it did nothing.
It's a lost cause.
Before I was telling the Little Red Riding Hood.
Separate wolf, yeah.
I think it's the same guy. Smart. But so I would train, people that had these inconsistent schedules and then you'd, get used to that income and then they're gone. But people that were, had the same schedule for the most part, They fucking show up every day. People in the morning that train in the morning, always better because
makes you freeze up your day as an actor. And
but also they will show up more. If you train somebody in the evening, they just, by then they're like, fuck, I'm not fucking doing this.
Like you get a lot more cancellations.
Yeah, way more cancellations.
And then I know this as being your friend for a long time. You would train these rich people who had gyms in their houses. Too.
Oh, and I did home gym design. Like it was like fucking being a personal stylist with gyms. You're just like
the dream.
Picking stuff out.
Well, a rack of lat pull down machines for them.
I really like to talk to you about. I really want to make a nice gym.
Oh yeah.
You could help me do that?
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
that'd be great.
I'm down. But I trained these guys that were 100 millionaires, maybe billionaire. To give you an idea, I introduced 2 guys together that I was training, and one of them had a charity going on. And the guy that I introduced him to donated $1 million to his charity.
Upon meeting him.
Upon meeting him.
In one sentence.
It's like okay, what do you need?
That's all like me pulling out a 10.
Yeah. But that guy's like clearly hiding money.
Yeah, I think, You couldn't tell by his fucking cars and house, but yeah.
Right. That's why it's hidden.
Yeah. Yeah, so crazy money. And then it'd be really like wild because it's so much money that they didn't even know they had it. So I trained this guy for years, and he had a woman that worked in his house, and she had a little kid, and we were watching the kid kind of grow up. And so she'd bring her kids sometimes, a little kid growing up. And I said, you should pay for her kid's school. And he was like, oh yeah. And I'm like, yeah, she, is about to start school. Like, why don't you get her into a good private school and do it all the way through? And he's like, it's a great idea. So he did it. He's like, if you ever think of other stuff like that.
That's what he said?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. Like, didn't even fucking know.
You're like, okay.
You're like, I have a kid too.
You're like, there's this dude, Ryan Stanger.
Yeah.
You should give him $1 million.
Yeah.
Well, there's
he needs a Rivian.
Going to someone's house to train them that is like, they're going to be there.
It's intimate.
Yeah.
It's also intimate. You're in their house. You're seeing shit.
The idea of customizing a home gym, I would play a video game that was like Gym Tycoon. Like the idea of like, ooh, we'll put a sauna and a plunge here. Like
totally. You put the cheat code in for unlimited budget.
Yeah.
Like I did
so we can't work together. I gotta look for someone else.
Makes it more fun and challenging for me. I put the difficulty
you don't sound like you can work in a box.
The difficulty level
2
way up.
hyperbaric chambers? Yeah. Who's the other one for?
For me.
These I come by.
Or your pets.
Yeah.
So we put in his newest house, we put a crazy cold plunge in that's right by his jacuzzi and pool, and it's covered, and it's constantly at about 40 degrees and just stays that way. And he's super tall, so it goes all the way down to like the center of the earth.
He's really tall.
Yeah, I mean,
who is this, Paul Gasol?
He's so fucking tall, it's down to like Brendan Fraser Bumblebee level. Who's this show for? And then
not me.
We did.
I didn't get that reference.
Yeah, fine. Somebody out there did, and they won't be.
And the rest of the people are complaining on the Reddit.
Yeah, the rest of the people
we're
are
not gonna
leaving.
have a Reddit. You think our fans are gonna get it together and have a Reddit? We can't even get like a beer night together.
We did a full sauna in there, all that shit.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Yeah,
because I just want a dedicated space. I feel like right now we moved into this awesome house, and it's in New York City, so we don't have a ton of space, but we just like use the basement as that's where everything goes, and including like the Peloton, the weights, and the sauna. And it's like mishmashed all together.
Including a couch and a TV and
video games for kids. It's like, I need a space that's like,
you're more likely to go in there if you do.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I want to do it right, but I don't have any money.
There's ways you can save. Floor is really important in there, and you can buy these things
like the rubber ones.
Yeah, that'll snap together, and you can kind of adjust them to fit any space. They're prefab.
Yeah. I want my whole thing to be prefab.
Yeah. Yeah,
but not bad, but not pre-bad.
I think that's
not pre-Fontaine.
No.
Not without limits. I need limits.
Yeah.
I think pre-bad was Thriller.
Yeah. I don't want it to be dangerous.
That's what it is now. Let's be honest. No,
and it is definitely, depending on who you talk to, his story.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good because Chris Tucker's involved, I think.
So is Macaulay Culkin.
I remember the time. You might want to move the kids' video games and couch out of the basement.
We got Magic Johnson.
So you don't think it's cool to work out in front of my kids and their friends?
You don't work out at home though. You're still a gym rat.
No, I have Peloton. I love having that.
So you do a Peloton?
Do a Peloton.
And what's your Peloton go-to length of class? Hitting hills? Are you going straight sweat? Are you doing arms? What are you doing on the Peloton?
I do. So at first I was doing a lot of the classes, which I do like, and I have an instructor that I like. But now one of the things I'm doing currently to stay alive is the Norwegian 4x4 HIIT protocol. And that's
man, this phrase. I love just the phrase of this.
It sounds really fancy.
Norwegian, you say?
That's because I think they
interesting. You're all in that region.
Yeah.
Finnish, like all right. So, what is this? Because I'll try doing that.
So this one is what it is it's high intensity interval training, but where it differs from Tabata and some of the other stuff that folks will do is that it's extended efforts. So Tabata is
20 on, 10 off.
20 on, 10 off, yeah. Or some of the other ones are minute on, minute hard, 30 seconds off. Or there's like the this 8 program, but this one is you start with the 10-minute warm up, and then you go 4 minutes, 85+% of your maximum intensity level, and then you do 3-minute recovery, and then 4 minutes again, 3-minute recovery, all the way out to 4. And then a 5-minute cool down. So it takes
4 sets of 4 minutes with 3-minute downtime.
And what's the total class? 45?
It's about 40 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And so I just do it on my own. I just use
you just use, so you're just listening to your own music on it like a regular exercise bike.
Yeah. So I just use like the, there's experience, whatever you want to do, like choose your experience.
Yeah.
So in Peloton, I found the interface is really easy and nice.
Yeah.
And I broadcast my heart rate from a wrist, like a armband heart rate monitor on there. And I use that to assess my,
85% effort.
Yes, and the Peloton has a program that you can use to get your maximum heart rate. So it becomes a little bit more accurate than just using, a lot of things will be like a number minus your age.
220 minus 42 or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and that might get you close to the range, but this is, you go up as hard as you can while monitoring your heart rate, through a couple different levels, and then they'll give you a number. And so, because people will tell you RPE or rate of perceived exertion is good for using this, but I don't always trust that for myself. I like a little bit more of the
science of the
What
number.
if you don't like to think about anything while you exercise, except like you want to minimize? What if you want to minimize the amount of like pinpoint number going across the screen? How would you prescribe something like that?
So I'm very similar to you in that respect. I'm assuming you're talking about yourself.
For a friend. Yeah, no, for me, yeah.
He's trying to get me to exercise more.
I can't say it.
My friend Ron in West Canada, so I'm like that. And so I don't like too much. I'm not going to fucking write it down in a book. I'm not going to get somebody in a lab coat involved. Okay. So I do this one, and after the first couple of times, it's really easy, I've found.
Like once you know the mechanics of what you got to do. Yeah.
I found it's even easier than a class.
Really?
Yeah, because it's close to the same every time. Like you
don't have to exactly.
Know exactly. And the number breakdowns are really easy. So pretty soon you're like, okay, it's been 10 minutes. We go 4, and then it's 17. It just like is super easy. They've looked at this and they've done it in where they're doing liquid biopsies, and they found that this doing it in this range reduces circulating tumor cells. So let's say you're concerned about that, or you're just somebody that doesn't want them to ever pop up in your body.
Right.
You can throw this in once a week and to keep them at bay. The sheer force that increases with your blood flow kills them.
Of a 4x4.
Yeah.
Of just having your heart pumping that fast for that long just wipes out some bad stuff in your bloodstream.
And they don't see it in the shorter duration. You have to get into the extended effort.
Well, you got to get into I got to get into extended effort.
Yeah. And you can do it once a week or once every 2 weeks, something like that.
Just to shake up what you're doing.
Plug it into your reg.
It also increases your brain-derived neurotropic factor or blood-derived neurotropic factor. You can tell because I don't know which of the two not to maybe press any further with questions. But it crosses the blood-brain barrier. So it does, it increases what your brain is able to do and memory and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of positive benefit that they've actually been able to study.
And that's not exercise in general. That is specifically from this type of maximum effort.
Exercise in general does do this to a degree.
To a degree, but this is maximum. Like you're not getting this from lifting weights.
No.
Doing sit-ups.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe from like a very light walk. No, no, you've got to do this. You've got to do this specifically. At least this is what they've tested and been able to find.
And you could do this on a treadmill or on an erg too, if you can figure that out.
You could. It's harder to monitor where you're at, and it's because I've tried it on all kinds of different cardio equipment, and it's to get into that range is tougher. Like you have to be really good on an erg to get there.
Right.
And so do you have to be pushing the person on the fuck swing, or can you be on it?
You can be on it.
All depends on your heart rate. Yeah. That's me getting fucking reamed. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
So if you were to talk to a client and you were to prescribe them like a week and be like, this is how I think you should maximize your week's worth of health, would you break it down to something like, 3 days of cardio, weightlifting, bike, or is it strictly to you like there's this prescriptive exercise that you need to be doing every day that is going to keep you alive?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So if it's like, what's the minimum? Like you should at least be doing this.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say resistance training.
Which means what? Because a lot of people hear that and they don't know what that means.
Sure. So it would be a push, a pull, and a squat. So you want to do hormonally intelligent exercises to get the most out of them.
So like for layman, it would be like a push up, a crunch, or a curl,
or a pull up,
or a pull up, and what was the last one?
A squat.
And a squat.
I would do with weights.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would do
specifically more than calisthenics. The resistance training would be with
weights.
Loaded. Yeah.
Yeah. Would be.
So what would a push, pull, and a squat look like to you?
So that would be like a chest press or a military press.
Okay.
A row or a pull up or something.
Well, that would be for pull.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then for squat, it could be you could do like an angled leg press. You could do a back squat. You could do a front squat. You could do some kind of lunges. And this is, we're getting into longevity talk here. There's all this talk around thigh circumference.
Right.
Quadricep muscle development like directly correlates with.
Yeah. And I think that is more speaking to maintaining muscle mass because there's.
And not just what I'm into.
Yeah.
Thick thighs save lives.
Yeah. So it's not just what I like.
Yeah. It's not just how I.
Because I wrote that article. I got to tell you, I did not look into any of it.
I can't believe it got picked up in the Scientific Journal.
Me either, because my stats were guesses.
Yeah. I just took out all the crushing my head parts. Though.
Yeah.
This guy into fucking big asses saves lives.
Yeah.
Do we have to do the fucking in there?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of that is talking about staving off sarcopenia, which is something that sets in when you hit a certain age where you just start to muscle just goes away.
Muscle atrophy.
Yeah. Your muscle just starts to atrophy, and then it goes up more and more as you age. You start losing more and more muscle, and a lot of it goes from the legs, and that's the most important part for overall health, like with blood flow, and then also for falls, because there's countless stories of people that have a relative that's in good health, they fall, they go to the hospital, and they fucking die.
They break their hip and then they're dead.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like it all started with that. And so if you think about, maintaining muscle strength in your legs, you're going to be able to move around, protect yourself from falling over.
And there is some truth to resistance training helping with bone density as well too.
Yeah. So bone density, you need that like adaptive, change, that adaptive stress change that happens when and a lot of it can be from, jumping too. Like if you're able to kind of jump into your old age, that kind of shit.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Just like jumping jacks, super squats.
Yeah.
Jumping rope, box jumps,
all that stuff.
Skipping.
Yeah. All that kind of functional stuff helps with bone density. So that's something to like factor in. And then we talked about cardiovascular training. So I would do something that elevates your heart rate. if you can do the kind of extended effort stuff that we're talking about, it might not be as crucial as just showing up to do something that at least challenges.
Like a spin class.
Yeah, great. Spin class, Tabata exercise, something where your heart's thumping. Right. Because that's something we stop doing as we get older.
Right.
Like, your kids run around, you go to the beach, you pick them up, you can feel their heart thumping. But I mean, I don't know, all of it. Like, when was the last time your heart was fucking jacked?
Like, without exercise.
I had to go to the bathroom and walk up those stairs before.
Just when I was going to the bathroom this morning, the shit was coming out maybe sideways. My heart was pounding.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're
shit out a jackhammer shark.
Jackhammer shark. That's where you put it down, you pile driver shark.
So I would say that to the client, if they're in a recording studio and they have diarrhea, get up those stairs. Yeah. I mean, that's something to.
It wasn't diarrhea.
I should move my bathroom upstairs because then I would at least get like 8 flights in every morning. Sprint. Stanger, thank you so much for coming on fucking Staying Alive.
Yeah, and giving us a little bit of like, it's just always nice to talk to a personal trainer who gives you like the real about what they do.
Yeah.
Because it's like so often the most intimidating thing is a personal trainer that makes it seem unattainable. You know, it's like a psychologist that's like, you'll never be cured and you'll just be coming to me forever. And I think that's what people are scared of in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, I can close out with the most important thing is showing up. And so if that means doing something easy that you love, then fucking do that.
Right.
The people that win in the end are the ones that show up. And we could all do a fucking Sergeant Slaughter routine or a Wahlberg routine that lasts for 2 days. And then by January 3rd, you're fucking done.
Right.
You lost then. So if you don't feel like going to the gym, but you like doing biceps and it's leg day, just fucking get your ass in there and do biceps again. Mm-hmm. Who gives a fuck as long as you show up?
You're the one who really ingrained in my head because I get stuck in this thing, and you said perfect is the enemy of good, and you've also said just do anything.
Yeah.
Anything is better than nothing. I can't get 10,000 steps, but guess what? 3,000 steps is still better than 0 steps.
Yeah, 50 steps. I mean, whatever it is, if you're doing nothing, you've lost.
Right.
So just do the easiest fucking thing you can think of and don't hold yourself to any level, because it's like you can sometimes think about, oh man, when I was really in shape before, I was doing heavy squats and I just don't feel like doing that or I'm not ready, and just do whatever you're ready for. And I even struggle with that still. I don't know what the psychology of that is, but if you can break that pattern and just keep showing up, attendance, if you can practice good attendance, you'll always win.
Right. And that's kind of like what they say about being an actor in a lot of ways, right?
Just
it's
stay
like,
in the fucking
just
game.
show up on time, know your lines, and go home.
Yeah.
And it's like, no matter how good or bad you feel like you're doing, if you do that, everyone will love you.
Yeah. Fucking McQueen was just staying to deliver.
Yeah. It's like, you just never
Me and Stanger will, of course, take your word for it as to not really working at it.
No, I mean, it's something, I think it's true. Like, the one thing you can do to mitigate that is show up on time and know your lines.
Yeah.
And then everything else will be fine.
Off Stanger's advice too, the other thing, because you're the one who told me that. You're like, well, if you like the sauna, if you're not going to go to the gym, but saying I'm just going to go to the sauna will get you there, go there. And then you get there and you're like, I could jump on the on the bike for a little bit.
Always end up doing something.
You always
you're like,
do,
I could bang out a few sets of chest and then get in the sauna.
Truly, yeah.
Stretch on the mat, look at my phone. You end up doing something, and then you get a positive neuroassociation with the gym, to where it's like, I like going there because it's never a drag.
Right. And it makes me feel good.
Yeah. And if it feels like a drag, you're not going to show up, and
you're not doing the right exercise.
Yeah.
For yourself, whatever it might be. Like, if you need whatever you need to get you, if you like swimming, find the pool. If you like it, whatever it is.
That's great. I mean, that's another thing to mention is if you're not happy doing it, fucking do something else.
You're never going to
Wait, it's you. You're a grown up. Do something else.
Right.
Find something that you like. Crucial. If you're like, this feels like shit and I fucking hate it, of course you're not going to exercise.
Right.
Do something else. Find something fun and challenge yourself to, find something fun that you enjoy.
Yeah, people who are afraid of the gym, get something at home. Like, figure out a way to get yourself going.
Ooh, that's like a whole nother episode idea that we could do, and Stanger would be a good guest for that too.
Let's start booking them now.
Yeah, let's get Stanger. You're available 9 a.m. tomorrow? No,
until this starts doing well, and then we're good, man.
He's got his own spinoff.
We can slice of that.
Yeah, he's Dr. Phil.
But no, like Being comfortable in the gym is probably a good episode because gyms are less scary than people think they are. People are surprisingly more supportive than you think they are.
Yeah. Full disguise, I think is good. Dress up like a dog in a zipper suit, all that kind of shit.
Run on the treadmill on all fours.
Yeah, you're always painting your face, right?
Like a clown, not racistly.
Yeah.
But you should hear the clown's voice.
The clown's voice is offensive. That is fair. Stanger.
Thank you so much, man. This was such a pleasure. Is there anything you want to plug?
People should listen to Gabrus and I doing Action Boys on Patreon. I'm sure that hasn't come up ever.
Yeah, no, none of our guests are co-hosts of my other podcast, so it's nice to bring you in here. Actionboys.biz. And you also host a fitness podcast.
I do a fitness podcast called Dumbbells. It's anywhere where podcasts are found. We talk about all kinds of fitness shit. And it's information light. You know, it's more silly, just kind of us making sense of this stuff.
Not as scientific as this one.
Not with the pros.
Yeah, I didn't push as hard as I do on this one.
Yeah.
One thing I think you
thanks for going to the mat for us.
One thing I think you and Aaron do that's cool on your pod is go try weird fitness trends.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so if people ask us, we'll go fucking try this shit. I'm going to do VO2 Max coming up. I'm scared for that one. And then a DEXA
What's VO2 Max?
VO2 Max is how efficiently your body takes over and uses oxygen.
Like Lance Armstrong and fucking Michael Phelps have like insane VO2 max.
Yeah.
Because they're people who have great cardio lung systems.
Yeah. So I'm going to do that. And then we're going to do a DEXA scan.
I did a DEXA scan.
Yeah.
What's a DEXA scan?
A body fat scan.
Oh boy.
And it's the most accurate. And they look at bone density and all that shit.
You.
Yeah. I'm scared for that
bad
one.
news. I'm carrying according to that, I'm carrying 90 pounds of fat. That is a person.
Yeah.
That is a small person, but it's a full person I'm carrying around extra.
Get that person out of you.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to get
I'm
a couple
surprised
more
you haven't
in.
shit it out today.
Yeah, I'm probably down to 88. I had sweet green for lunch.
Let's mark the progress on that because I have a feeling that in the run of this show you're going to get that little person's going to become an actual little person.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm going to get down to a Warwick Davis in there.
Yeah. I'm at a bad Santa level.
I got to get it down to Jawa size.
Up, it's back up to Chewy level.
That's why Harrison was lost in the mall. He didn't have Chewy as co-pilot.
Meanwhile, Chewy was on the other side in his Prius.
This is the largest car I could afford on my salary.
Yeah. It's got the Waze ding, but then the Waze goes.
Chewy's just banging with a wrench trying to fix it. It's like,
It's not broken. Chewy.
Yeah. He'll rip your arms off.
Thanks, Stanger.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan.
Dude, he's the best.
What's the straw house thing?
Oh, you still... Oh.
No, that was a fucking hell of a convo. Answered a lot of questions. I hope some people got some good takeaways.
I wish all personal trainers were that chill.
Were that upfront about what?
Upfront about the expectations that you should have of them and the way it's going to go. It's it's just so nice to have someone that's so fact-based and just simple about it, you know?
I really wish he wasn't too good of a friend because I would love to hire him as a personal trainer.
Me too, yeah. I don't want to be
we would just be bullshit the whole
I don't want to be
time.
trained by a friend and do that thing where you're talking about stuff while you're exercising.
I don't.
Yeah, things are good. I mean, it could be better, but it's I don't want.
I already talked to him 3 hours a week about 70s action movies, so I don't need to add my health to the doc.
No. You don't need another hour of Stanger. No. But that was a great one.
Yeah. See you on the next episode. Let's see if you actually
stay alive.
Stay alive.
Getting old sucks.
Yeah, I got to figure out my life.